Hi, this video is going to be about the first time I took a feature film to the Sundance Film Festival. Life tastes good, and you'll see a little bit about the whole journey, as well as a little bit of what Robert Redford was talking about in terms of the Sundance Film Festival. Hope you enjoy.
We're on our way. Have a good one. Have a good flight. Take it off.
Yeah, I have to go to Silver. I'm so excited about the film.
Oh, great. Come see us.
Yeah.
We met the Sundance. Yeah.
All right, well, here you are. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds great. Okay, bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, Jennifer.
We're trying to register at this point, and we're sort of wandering around. We have about 5 minutes to figure out what we want to do. This is the hospitality room or something like that. There you go. Here's Diane.
I want to block that.
Okay, Diane's putting up the posters. Yeah.
Help me do something.
Oh, I have to help her now. Okay. This is the filmmakers table?
I guess.
You all filmmakers? Hey, we'll make it one. Let's give you an idea of the circus that we have here. And there's Michelle Satter. She runs the institute over there walking away. This is Philip, cinematographer.
Just a little intimate photo op. Well, let me tell you what's going on here today. This is the first time we've done this. The two important things for me during this week are to be able to meet the filmmakers and meet their films. So with that, we decided to do away with the press conference. I mean, the press is invited to witness our exchange, but if we had the time, I would prefer to just do this one-on-one and go around and have longer time with you individually. But since time is not our friend in that regard, and your focus is where it should be on your films and how they're going to be received, I just want to take a second to share with you two things. One, a little brief history on why we're here, what's going on, what the purpose is, and what the hope is. And then you can decide where the reward is. But the other thing is to try to emphasize, as we try to do each year, where the focus is for us, and it's on you. And I say it every year, and it's probably to the point where it's sort of ad nauseum for a lot of people, but yet on the other hand, because of all the hype and because of all the energy that surrounds what we're doing here, sometimes the point gets lost. So basically, I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you and share the point of it all, and then after that, I look forward to circulating around and meeting. Where was it going to go once it was done? Where were they going to be able to demonstrate their work? So that led to the festival. And putting the film festival on created the second step, which was meant to be just showcasing. So the initial purpose was we did not have a market in mind. What we had was a festival in mind. And a place for you to come and see and know that your work was going to be seen by somebody. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this becoming a market. What do you think about it? Is it a meat market? Well, for one, I'm fine with it being a market. I think it brings some dangers, and it's tricky, but it's okay because the point is to create benefits for the filmmakers. And if a market goes beyond just having the work seen and goes to sale and distribution, so be it. Then we have a slightly different purpose. I'm quite happy that it's a market if it benefits the filmmakers, but it presents a new danger. It's a slightly more sophisticated area, which means you're going to get hurt, you're going to get disappointed, depressed, falsely led down garden paths because you're being hit by the merchant mentality of distribution. So maybe that helps in our definition, in that we start to redefine our purpose a little bit to help the filmmakers prepare for that moment, which we now have. Beyond that, it seemed to me that as the work got better over the years, as the population increased with film schools growing and the society becoming more and more obsessed with film, there clearly were not enough spaces for film to work its way into. So there was a clogging at the access points in distribution. So we chose the way of cable television. So the idea of doing that and taking the festival to the marketplace on a wider scale was really what the channel was about, and the chance to have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the opportunity to see these films. If you missed them at one point, you could see them another point, just like we have at the festival here. That was the third step in the process. The fourth step is in the process of becoming a reality this year, which is the cinema centers. To respect film is something beyond just a cookie-cutter screening experience where people are encouraged to get in and get out and treat film experiencing like eating cotton candy. The idea was to build something around film having to do with community. And since we believe very much in documentary films, and I personally believe that documentaries deserve the same exhibition that mainstream films get, we're committed to trying to do whatever we can to make that happen. So then you can get down into the area that's probably maybe the most fun working on, which is that taboo part of film, the films that you're not supposed to see, that are kind of like dangerous, you know. And that's what we call our basement experience. Where you can go down there, you're not supposed to be here. Of course, everybody piles in there. You know. So that's for experimental film, which we feel is extremely important to keep that edge of filmmaking constantly alive. We want to be able to create a place of exhibition for that as well. And then the other myriad forms of film, the shorts, the animation, that will get exhibition space. And around that, we talk about a library, a place to eat, a bar, a public space where people can gather. Again, all this is just some kind of replication of what we're trying to do here, which is create a gathering place. And the gathering place and the energy that comes from it is really, I think, what interests us the most, to see the energy come from filmmakers gathering to see each other's work, interact with audiences, interact with each other, and keep it loose and try not to over-describe it or over-define it is really our objective. I suggest a couple of things to avoid if you can. I know it's like also emotionally saying, you know, don't think about white elephants, but the hype that comes with the territory can be very misleading. And when you have an outer circle of elements, in this case the media wants to know what's going on. The media wants to get ahead of things, wants to get a jump on things so they can get out in front of it. That's fine, that's what they do. But don't let it cloud the point, which is that this is not, don't get so focused on just the sale of your film. As much as the sale of your film that comes, that's fine, but the interaction between you. Because I can only tell you, for all those people that get too early disappointed, you know, like an early screening, well, they didn't get enough of this, they didn't get enough of that, not enough distributors jumped in on it. Or parts of the media will decide early on what's going to be hot and what's not going to be hot. That'd be a terrible mistake, because usually they've been wrong. And that's the beauty of it for us. When people try to advance an opinion or an advance judgment and they're wrong, that's a joy, because it proves that something is right. The unpredictability of this festival and the diversity defies getting a grip on it, and that's the way it should be. So please don't get depressed if your films are not jumped on right away, because we've had more than many examples of film that got the so-called buzz. Not a great word, but the buzz that comes early very often doesn't apply at all in the final result. The films that get the most buzz early on, or what the press decides before the festival begins what's going to be the buzz, isn't. And the films that were unsung before and during the festival are very often the ones that go on to have greater success in the marketplace. So my suggestion to you would be, if you can, put that out of your mind and just focus on the work and see one another's work. And don't be led by the need for sale or the need to be factored into this buzz thing, because it usually is highly inaccurate. So, having said that, I conclude by wishing you the best of times, because your good time is certainly our good time. And I wish every single one of you equal success. Thank you.
You gotta look, huh? You look right into the camera. That's it. That was the big Bob band. Hey, I'm Robert Redford. He came up to me and introduced himself, and I didn't get it on film. You can see him over my shoulder right here. And Jeff brought him up to me. I met him, and he almost looked like he was talking to me. But I don't really think so. Oh man, you didn't hear that. I better start. There he is back there. Yes, I'm being a naughty boy. Section. Where's Jeff? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Hey, this is spectacular. I'm in the same frame. Oh, would you like to be for a moment in the same frame? It's too cool. I'm going to show you Ray. I'm going to show you all. Look at it. Look at it. They're totally ignoring me, but yet I'm in the picture. This is amazing. There you go, yes. We're tight. Yeah, it's like, you know, he's helping me out. Oh, Ray. He's going to meet Ray now. Garth, how was it to meet the Bob Man? Hey.
My little heart's going.
Yeah, me too. I have to admit, I was
I'm not used to the pages.
yeah, neither am I, so it was quite an experience. So are you going to arrest me or what?
Did I scare you?
Yeah, a bit, yeah. Philip? There it is. Gotanda. Gotanda.
And your film was Life Tastes Good?
Life Tastes Good, yes.
All right. Where are you from?
San Francisco. And it's my first feature. And this is my first interview. So.
Ah, there you go. It's my first time being on film.
Shoot's over.
No, man. This is my film. Oh, okay.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sundance Film Festival. My name's Mary Kerr. I'm a programmer, and I'm here to introduce Life Tastes Good and Philip Gotanda. He's been here 2 times before with short films, and his background is basically in the theater, and this is his first feature film that he's directed, and I'd like to introduce him. Philip?
Thank you, Mary. No, I'm recording. I'm actually doing this thing where I'm recording my experience of Sundance, so you can all... Hey, there you go. See you in my film. Great. The one thing I wanted to say about the film is this. That pause, that silence, is something I want you to keep in mind, because the film has its own sort of pace and rhythm, and it may not kind of pop along in the way you're used to, but it's my body rhythm, and I wanted you sort of to remember that. So, other than that, at the end I'll introduce folks, but the film was a labor of love and fun, and I hope you enjoy. Everyone should have, at least once in their lifetime, to have their first feature film accepted to Sundance, and for the filmmaker to see the film, along with the audience for the first time. And it's rather an extraordinary, bizarre, painful, and ultimately illuminating experience. So I thank you all for coming. We can entertain just a few questions, if there are any. He asked, where did you find your wonderful cast? And I've been doing this thing in theater, and what I've tried to do over the years is to develop an ensemble, kind of a repertory. So most of these actors I've worked with years in theater, as well as in my most recent short films. And the reason I do this is, it started in theater, and the idea was that it's very hard to get good working actors to stay with the play, and it's just a matter of survival. So if an episodic TV thing comes up, they split, or it's not worth it for them to go to New York and do off-Broadway. So I've tried to cultivate relationships, saying, I will give you substantive roles. So as best as possible, when you can, be in my works. And I've done that in theater, film now too, where I've tried to do the same kind of idea of building up sort of a repertory of people who know what you're doing and want to participate and be a part of it, because I think all of you know, trying to do an independent film is so difficult. So if you start to develop a team, a collaborative team, my feeling is you can repeat it again. Because one of the things we really wanted to do was to not burn people out. And I know all of you know this experience where you just kill people. Everyone's just totally fried, but you got the film made. And we didn't want to do that. We wanted to make sure that at the end of the film, everyone felt good and would like to do it again. And I have to say, by and large, everyone is very gung-ho about trying to do it again. So that's sort of where the actors come from. All right. Oh, okay. One last, yes.
How many days shoot was it?
How many days shoot was it? It was 3 weeks, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. We always kept it 12 hours a day. We actually ended one day early, and so we had one extra day to sort of do some other shooting. And we shot it on Super 16, which was, again, it's because we couldn't afford anything else. And the idea always was that we would bump it up if something came through, like the festival. And that turned out to be a very good experience for us. I think we'd do Super 16 again. It worked out quite well. And what we did is we worked backwards. We said, this is how much money we have, and we'll make the film we can make with that amount of money. And with the realization that hard choices have to be made in terms of what can be served and not served. But it was sort of interesting when you work backwards like that. It made everything very clear. You knew what your limitations were. So the whole thing was shot in one building, and within a 1 block radius of this building. It was a warehouse that belongs to the aunts of my wife. And if you notice there's the 2 weird sisters, then there was this older woman who kept on appearing. That's my wife's aunt, and she owns the building. She's like 80-something years old. And in my first short film, she tap danced. But again, the idea was that we knew we only had so much time. We didn't want to have to move around, so we basically used the warehouse. It was a working warehouse, so all those boxes you saw would move occasionally because they, in fact, were moving stock. We also storyboarded it. We had 2 big binders, and we pretty much stuck with them, except in some of the looser scenes like the lovemaking. Again, because we knew we had only so much time, only so much footage. We shot, I think ultimately it was a ratio of about 3 to 1. Sometimes we shot more, sometimes we even shot less. But again, the idea was we only had so much money, and so we planned it out very carefully as to how to do it, how best to do it, given the amount of limitations we had. Yes, back there.
It's such a wonderfully imaginative story, and I wonder if you could talk about how you came to it.
I do this thing where, I can do it in theater, but in film it's a little harder, and it killed my career in LA. But I can't write anything unless my body gives it to me. So in other words, it's on its own timetable. I knew we wanted to do a film, and when we figured out the budget, we realized, and we found the space. I went to the space, and I would sit in the space to sort of get a feel for it. with the idea being that it was going to be a very important character in the film. And so basically what it was is I spent time at the warehouse and I wrote a script that we could afford to do and which I could do as a first-time director. And again, it was a story that my body gave me. You know, it came from my body, and I have this sort of, I've developed over the years kind of this thing of how if you start to listen to your body in relationship to what you create, your aesthetic, your choices, it becomes easier to hear it and feel it, and you sort of know when it's right. And when that happens for me, as with this story, I can live and die by it. In other words, you still don't have doubts at times, but there really is this sense of strength that your body is giving you something, you trusted it, and you went with it. And so that's how the story came about and how I tend to work. But I had written about 3 other screenplays, and each of them was just too involved, too expensive. And when I mean expensive, I mean very cheap. I had a script that I developed here called Otto, and I was in one of those situations where I was just sitting and waiting, and we were trying to make this movie. And then it sort of dawned on me that you just can't wait anymore. You know, even though Otto was developed by Sundance and wasn't that expensive of a film, you know, no one was going to say yes to me on this one, I realized. And so we got tired of waiting, you know, wrote the screenplay, we knew how much money we had, and we did it. And I know you've heard people say that before, but I would truly encourage everyone who's thinking about doing it to not wait for someone to say yes to you, because they probably won't. And there comes a point in time that you take a calculated risk. You sort of leap off the cliff with great faith that a landmass will appear and buoy you along. And you hope it appears. It's a long drop. But anyway, thank you very much. If you enjoyed it, vote for it, tell your friends, and go have a drink. I am. Hi, good morning. Good morning. It's early day after the screening, and I just thought I'd get up and take a walk around and so show you how nice it is. Okay, here we are. It's really quiet. Ooh, that was interesting. It's almost like a gunshot. Or maybe they're trying to where am I walking? I'm walking. It's snowing more now. I just sat in there with Roger Garcia, who is the producer of the big hit and married to Lydia Tanji, our costume designer. He was very nice. Oh, look at this. This is great. Well, I don't know how interesting this is to you folks, so I'm just going to walk around. It's great. A little bit of silence and snow.
Life Tastes Good It's right here, and it's on DVD, which I'm not even sure most of you know what a DVD is. But anyway, it's available on my website, actually, online, the feature film Life Tastes Good.